It's time to shake the focus up. Sick of being sick and tired, tell me if you had enough. Yeah, it's Shook's in the building now. We ain't missing nothing. We gon' catch him if they try to run. So, a quick look at the socials as we get started here. And as we scroll, there's nothing much to note between the last video and now. But I will say that I see it seems like H-Bar and Dovu are ramping up their co-marketing here, and it kind of makes sense based on how these projects are related. H-Bar, now I'm not positioned this way, but H-Bar could possibly win the next bull run. Like H-Bar is starting to pop up in a lot more places. Don't forget they got a lot of exposure at that BitBoy crypto fight, front and center there. And I can't remember, somebody, if you do remember, let me know. Feel free to leave it in the comment section below. But I swear H-Bar had a bigger billboard somewhere else. And it could have been that it was at that same fight. But I can't remember if it was there or at a pro or a UFC fight. It was some big event. If you remember, feel free to leave it below. But again, so H-Bar marketing stuff. We know H-Bar is into smart cities and clean energy, but leading into our topic of discussion here today, who else is interested in this? Now, I often find that the smallest details can send you down some of the biggest rabbit holes of information. And that's what happened here. So let's take a look here at, let's just look at this EOV real quick. If we go to pay, payments are powered by Stripe. And I was like, man, ain't Stripe like a big deal in the payments processing game? But coming over to the project list again, there's one here called Undo. And it's kind of a funny name because it actually leads, right? It's a play on words in terms of what the goal of the project is, which is permanent carbon removal, putting carbon in its place. But under the who are Undo here, we got, it's a UK based carbon removal scale up. Then we got scaling enhanced rock weathering. Yeah, we're getting a little bit into the natural science stuff here, peeps. But look at the locations though. We got UK, US, and Australia based operations. Another project that is stretching across multiple countries. We're starting to see this global economy and initiative start to play out here. Then what I think is the most important piece, obviously, for this discussion is the line there that says it's part of the Stripe climate portfolio. We're going to get into that shortly, but finishing out the list, we got that there's a science and research team, and then of course the goal of removing 1 billion tons by 2030. Where my conspiracy folks at? The info here goes a little bit into how the weathering is measured, and if that piqued your interest, come over here and check it out. But we got our science lesson in for the day already. We overachieved. We good to go. We finna slide on over here to this Undo website because it got some more nuggets for us. Undo. All right, so over here on the Undo website, we see right there, right away, we got Stripe listed. So there's that confirmation for us. But then, oh, is that Microsoft? I think it is. So there's two reasons why I'm thinking Microsoft and Stripe are more so just investors than partners. The first is when we come over here to the actual partners page. We don't see either of those two in this list. And now it could just be that the web dev left that out, but I don't know. With players of this size, most things are typically intentional. But the slide wasn't enough for me. I needed to have just a little bit more here. And then boom, we got an article here from May 26th of 2021. Stripe commits $8 million to 6 new carbon removal companies. Now, spoiler alert, our project is not listed in this article here. So I don't believe there's a piece of that initial 8 million. We can see what projects are, right? However, if we slide on over here to Stripe's website and we go to Stripe Climate, you can select that from the list. If you go products and go down to Stripe Climate and then go carbon removal, we come on down here, we see patch, right? Caesar, CZR, we see that one again. But then we got to hit the view all projects here. Keep going, keep going. There's Carbon Cure again, Climeworks, EDAC Labs. Boom, there it is right there. Undo, our homie Undo. This actually, we'll read this description from Undo because it's easier. Undo spreads crushed basalt rock on agricultural land, accelerating the natural processes of rock weathering. CO2 dissolved in rainwater reacts with the rock, mineralizes, and is safely stored on geologic timescales as bicarbonate. The team is conducting lab and field trials to further the evidence of enhanced rock weathering as a permanent, scalable, nature-enabled technology for carbon removal. So being clean to be clean. So, and then since we've been talking so much about Stripe, let's just take a quick look at some fast facts here from Stripe from their website. So 100 or more industry leaders process more than $1 billion annually on Stripe. 817 billion or more in payments processed by businesses on Stripe in 2022. 135 or more currencies and payment methods are supported. And 45 or more countries where Stripe is available to do business. Stripe has dual headquarters in San Francisco and Dublin, as well as offices in London, Paris, Singapore, Tokyo, and other locations around the world. Man, we keep seeing the same places. Singapore part of everything. All right. And then last but certainly not least, I wanted to go back to this article here and highlight this line at the bottom where it starts talking about the milestones and success of those ongoing projects. This line reads, the projects have also secured new customers and investors, including Microsoft, Shopify, Lower Carbon Capital, and others. Now, y'all know I leave the link to the description of this article in the video if you want to come back and read the whole thing yourself. But you know it, that's right. We want Microsoft out of that list. Check this out. This right here, this is easy work. So Microsoft has something called the Climate Innovation Fund. Look like they're prepping for emergency too. We can see a few of the same projects listed here. Carbon Cure, Climeworks, Dimensional Energy, Heirloom, which is part of Stripe's portfolio as well. One that I think we should keep an eye on here is this FlexiDAO or FlexiDAO. It's said that Google is also an investor here. If we slide over to, shout out to Black Roo, if we slide over to Crypto Rank here, we can see that here, Google Ventures and the Microsoft Climate Innovation Fund, as well as SET and EIT or Eno Energy. I'm not familiar with that one. But we should definitely remember this one because I'm gonna forget it. They don't have a token or nothing listed nowhere that I saw, but it's one that I think is definitely gonna be an important one if it does ever list or anything of the sort. Let me know if you find out something about that one. I might be willing to KYC for that bad boy. So we got Stripe helping run payments on Dovu's platform, and they also investing in the carbon initiative. We can also see that Microsoft is getting involved in the carbon game. So, of course, none of this is financial advice, but the carbon space is looking like a Thanksgiving turkey. And I'm about to try to grab some to-go plates so I can have some for in the morning. Before we get there, though, you know, we gotta see if we can get a little. We gotta see if we can get a little side. We gotta see if we can get some sweet potatoes and some mac and cheese, because it's just wrong if you don't. So, I was having trouble finding the list of investors through my usual sources. So I slid on over here to Crunchbase. Look at the summary. We see the location, and we saw earlier that Dovu was UK based, so that makes sense. When we click on the link, it takes us to the expected website. So I think we got the right Dovu. So now we hit financials. We scroll on down here to the bottom, and boom. Under investors, Dovu had 3 investors. Excella City, which is powered by leading cities. That's some smart city stuff. We have to say that for another video. Then BMW Innovation Lab. Everybody got an innovation lab or fund or something. It's just wow. And then rounding out the list, Creative England for number 3. BMW Innovation Lab was the leading investor. That's the 3rd billion-dollar company we came across today looking into carbon reduction markets. I can't help but feel like I'm looking in the right area. But that's all I had, man. We're going to go ahead and end this one with a question. Did you know that Dovu was also on base? Until next time, don't get shook. Stay focused. And I'm out.
Hear that music?